Thank you. Well, hello guys. This is the Carpenter work group for July 15th. So getting started, let me quickly share my screen if I'm able. Okay, so today, starting off with project updates, main project update that we have is the V Carpenter going V1, or at least the API. So we have the RFC out. Currently, we are looking and hoping to merge it in sometime later this week or early next week. Uh, if you have any, anything you want to talk about or any concerns, please feel free to add a comment. If you haven't had a chance to take a look, please look. Um, but yeah, the team has actively been working on this. We are hoping to in the upcoming few weeks potentially make release candidate available to customers as well as then eventually making the full release sometime soon. Uh, yeah, if you have any questions, comments about this, uh, yeah, feel free to ask them now.
Is there a targeted date yet?
No, we don't have a targeted date. We're actively working on it and hoping to come, hoping to do it generally within the next few weeks and
Cool, exciting.
yeah. So if there's nothing else, the other two updates or the other two things that we have is there are two RFCs for node overlay as well as ODCR support. Starting off with the node overlay, this is just an RFC that is out for a few weeks now. Um, if there are anybody that's able to provide any uh, comments, please feel free. If you have any questions, take the time and ask them. I believe this is also planning on being merged sometime soon. I'm not exactly sure on if there's an exact date for being merged, but yeah, if you have any questions, concerns about Node Overlay, please take a look. There hasn't been any updates since the last few um, working group meetings, but it's just something to call out. And if you haven't had a chance to take a look, please take a look. Cool. All right, and then next thing is ODCR support. Uh, yeah. So also an RFC out for ODCR support. There hasn't been many updates. Just calling out the RFC. If you have a chance, please take a look. Provide any comments, concerns, and uh, any dialogue would be greatly appreciated. So yeah. Then is there any other updates from generally within the community that anybody would like to give before we move on to community questions? Okay, cool. If there are none, I guess we can just go on to community questions. Uh, Matt, I see that you're typing. I mean, do you kind of just want to talk about it?
Yeah, totally. So just the consolidated after rework that's been going on. Just wanted to point it out that like I don't think it's going to meet our use or our needs for improving our controls around consolidation disruption. So I know like some other people are kind of posting things around like, oh, just like use disruption budgets with like different windows and stuff, but we're pretty opposed to doing any kind of like disrupt only during off hours kind of thing. Uh, we have a lot of this internally where people will be like, oh no, you want to disrupt like during business hours so that people are on call to deal with it rather than like having to wake people up off hours and stuff like that. So really I'm hoping that we can kind of sit down and revisit and spec out something that's like a bit more robust for consolidation disruption control. Because the other thing that's listed here is it doesn't have any kind of control for like single versus multi, which are two very different uh, scenarios that you could care more about one than the other. And as listed right now, this would apply globally to both. So yeah,
Gotcha.
I have the answers at the moment, but yeah.
Have you commented here so if I'm understanding your use case correctly, if it's like you want to be able to distinguish between the single multi-node consolidation. And I guess the part that I had a hard time following is like uh is it I guess are you hoping to have distinguish between the different kinds of consolidation, or is there something more um
Yes.
intrinsic about budgets that isn't meeting your use case?
Yeah, as of last week, we've implemented a patch on Karpenter to just flat out disable single node consolidation altogether because we find that it is introducing a high rate of churn for very little reward. Basically, it will only ever replace a node if it's cheaper, and any amount of cheaper is fine, even if you're saving like 10 cents. So that's what we're finding is that it's just not worth it. But multi-node consolidation is worth it because that's consolidating like small instance types into bigger instance types, which saves us money and reduces like the footprint of the cluster and the number of daemon sets we're running. So that that's part of it. That's where we're at on the single versus multi, and having more controls for each, I think, would be very beneficial for a lot of people. Also, having some kind of threshold on single node consolidation would be super helpful. To say like, oh, don't like replace this node unless you're going to save like 20% of the instance cost or something like that would be very cool. So, uh, yeah.
Mm.
And then beyond that, it's also the change that Nick is proposing is to make consolidate after depend on when like a pod is scheduled or been removed from the node. And so like if you set it to like 5 minutes, then it wouldn't consolidate until a pod has not scheduled there for 5 minutes, for example. But that's not going to work for some of the cases that we're trying to target, such as like if a license is going to bill you for like an hourly rate, then you're going to be charged for an hour if the node hangs out for 20 minutes. And so we want to be able to set like something to make sure that the node is not consolidated for that amount of time at a minimum. And that's not going to work if we set like an hour long or a consolidated after, then it's possible that that node could never be consolidated because pods keep scheduling into it in that hour and that keeps getting reset. So there's two different kind of like use cases there, and then having the same uh, control work for both of them limits like which way or limits what you can really set it to realistically. So
Sure. Okay. Yeah, I think I wish Nick was here. He would
yeah,
be able
it's pretty
to.
responsive to the stuff that I put down. The other thing I have that I've talked about here is the multi versus single that I'll write up and post in there as well, just so we have it all in one place.
Yeah, that'll be greatly appreciated.
Yeah.
That's good. Yeah, cool. Then I mean, I guess Jason, is there anything you want to add here, or are you like? I think this seems good to me. Yeah, I think we should continue having the conversation at least on the thread
Yep.
on the.
I just wanted to bring it up just in case more so that more than Nick was aware of this, I think. It's really all I was hoping to do here.
Got it.
Yeah. I mean, we're definitely not finalized on a design approach for this yet. So yeah, getting this feedback now is super valuable. Yeah, like if Nick were here, I think we could go into more details since he's the one that's been driving this design. But yeah, if you have any updates, leaving them in the thread, super useful.
Sounds cool. Thank you.
Yeah, then I see that. Is there any other questions, community questions that anybody else or any comments, concerns that anybody wants to bring up? Um, Now, if not, then I think we can call it a day. Okay, cool. Then I guess let me quickly. Yeah. Okay, cool. Since we have nothing else, then I think we can call it a day for today. Thanks everyone for stopping by. Uh, we should have another meeting within 2 weeks. So yeah. Have a great rest of your day.
Yeah.
Thanks.